evening. I'm very glad that you're able to be here with me today. We're going to talk about utilizing school-based practices at home in order to create an educational platform for your children. I'd like to first introduce myself. My name is Monique Paramore. I currently work as a teacher at Royal Palm Beach High School. I have a bachelor's and master's in exceptional student education. I'm working on a specialist degree in educational leadership. I have certification in exceptional student education K through 12, math and social studies 5 through 9, elementary education K through 6, and endorsements in autism and ESOL. Okay, we all know learning starts at home. You, as parents, are the first teachers to your children. Everything your child hears, sees, does at home is the basis of what we teach at school. Learning at home and at school should be seamless, structured, and positive. Understanding how to enrich your home environment, manage your child's time and behavior, capitalize on teaching moments, and maintain a positive educational attitude are crucial to supporting your child's educational journey. To clarify what we should be learning at home instruction should focus on basic language, social play skills, routine behavior. Your children should be learning how they think and how they feel about themselves and others. At school, we connect the dots. All the dots that they learned at home, we put it all together. We expand on their basic knowledge. We answer their questions and provide detailed explanations. And they're also able to socialize with other children in order to see how their thoughts and feelings differ from others. Okay, the first slide is about enriching the home environment. When enriching the home environment, you should focus on creating a print-rich environment. What does this mean? This means labeling everything. According to the research, seeing consists of more than 25% of all the work our brain does. So, to promote literacy, your home environment should be visually enhanced with words and pictures. One method for enriching the home environment is creating a small library. A library should consist of leveled books, books of interest. So you want to include books that your children obviously like, that are about topics that they like. My brother loves soccer. In his library, we should have some books about soccer. Comfortable furniture. In my classroom, we have bean bags, giant bean bags. We have rugs, cushiony chairs, and adequate lighting. The two links that I have listed up here are American Library Association. They provide a bibliography list of books depending on the age of your child. The other one is Reading is Fundamental. They answer key questions about how to build a home library at home. So if you can see some of the pictures, the libraries you see there are very small. You don't need a big space. You just need a corner, a rug, a chair, and some books. These libraries promote reading. They make the child want to go and read because there's a bean bag, because there's something for them to play with, because the books are interesting to them. Another way to enrich the home environment is by labeling. I mentioned this earlier, labeling everything. If you've ever walked into your child's classroom, it's probably labeled. Chairs, refrigerators, everything should be labeled. We have some samples or examples. I have these labels in my room. I label pretty much everything. My labels have pictures because my children are students with disabilities, and it's beneficial to them to have pictures. You can decide whether you want pictures and words or just words. It's really dependent on your child's ability level. Labels, what do labels do? Allow for the connection of written language to actual physical objects. At home, there are tons of objects that they need to learn about and that we want them to come to school with. So the more labels you have, the more they're able to see words and see spelling. And it just, again, the same thing with the library. It enables them to want to learn. It promotes learning. Labels can be do-it-yourself projects. If money is an issue, you can do it with your children. I'm not expecting you to leave here and go label your whole house tonight. It takes a lot of work. So if you want to sit down every weekend and do 5 words in the house, have your children write the words, show them how to spell the words, and post them on the objects. After a couple months, you'll have a full house of labels. That's a project. If you want to just purchase your labels, that's an option. Or you can search online and find free labels, which a lot of people do. I do that as well. Okay, another option are literacy workstations. I have a friend who is a stay-at-home mom. She has literacy workstations. She also does top school. That's a whole other topic. A literacy workstation is just a small desk with Play-Doh, with Scrabble pieces. We have some examples. A magnetic board with letters, stickers, letters, markers, pencils, anything that's going to promote writing, promote words. And with the labels around the house, now they have words that they can practice writing. So these centers definitely help promote them and promote writing, promote literacy, and make them want to do it because it's not something that they're being forced to do. It's a fun thing that they can do. Okay, the next slide is about time management. The most important part of time management is creating a schedule, a routine. Whether you are a child or an adult, we all know that schedules are crucial to our survival. You need to know what's happening, what's going to happen, and when it's going to happen, and how long you have to do whatever it is that you have to do. Our children need that as well. To be effective, schedules should include all of the factors of the day, so bathing, homework, reading, whatever it is that you want your children to do throughout the day. They should be seen and implemented as a way of life. They require commitment and consistency. And again, they should include breaks, playtime, everything that you want your child to do. Just as much as you need to know when things start and stop, your children need to know when things start and stop. We have a sample schedule over here. It's magnetic. This is actually a really good schedule. It teaches time, and it's also changeable, so you can erase it, put new stuff. Having these things at home, I know it seems like a lot of work, but once you get it in place, it does help them at school, because when they come to school, they're going to see the same stuff. You're pre-teaching before they get to us. Okay, steps for setting up a schedule. Decide on the format of the schedule, whether you want it to have pictures or not, whether you want the pictures to be photographs or if you just want them to be like clip art pictures. For students with disabilities, I do recommend actual photographs of the objects if you can. If not, then any kind of picture would do. Again, you've seen the pictures that I use. This one doesn't have pictures, so it really depends on the level of your child. You need to decide on the length of the schedule, what you want to include, whether the schedule is going to be changeable or not, whether you want it to just be a stable schedule or if you want to be able to manipulate it when things change. You need to decide on the cue you're going to use for your child to maintain the schedule. In schools, we use timers, buzzers, bells. At home, you may want to just remind your child, it's 9 o'clock, it's time to do what? You may want to have some kind of signal or buzzer. It's really up to what works for you and your family. The next thing you need to know is you do have to teach the schedule. Everything needs to be taught. Just like we don't know anything without being taught, your children don't either. When they see a schedule, they need to know what you want them to do with it. So don't forget to teach it. Monitor and make any necessary changes. Throughout the time, the first part when you're teaching, you need to see if it works. Try the schedule out, see if it flows. If the schedule's not flowing, then make adjustments. Be consistent in putting down all activities. Again, especially if you have a child with disabilities, this will help their behavior, help them maintain their behavior. If they know what's coming next, they don't have to be afraid of what's coming next. They don't have to be concerned. They get an easy transition to the next activity. So even if you have, let's say you're taking them to grandpa's house today, just let them know prior, insert it into the schedule, and everything should run very smooth. And the last one is, of course, as your child grows, you want to look at your schedule and adjust it again. At, I don't know, 9, maybe this is okay. But when my brother turns 15, I probably will make his schedule a little bit more mature. So remember, as your children grow, as we teach them and you teach them, start to challenge them and take out the pictures and edit the schedule as much as possible. Behavior management at home. A behavior management system is created to teach and motivate appropriate behavior. A behavior management system includes rules, routines, schedules, a method for displaying performance levels, rewards, and consequences. Why do you need this at home? The same reason we need it at school. To maintain your child's behavior, to provide you with a set of guidelines for disciplining and rewarding your child for behavior, so that your children come to us with an already set mind frame on how to behave and what is acceptable and not acceptable. This behavior chart that I have up there is actually a parent's chart. She went into a classroom and saw her child's teacher's chart, and she mimicked it. It cost her $6 to make, and she uses it at home with her husband. And she has 2 children.
Good job, Mom.
It's really, I have the link. The link is a part of it, and she goes into detail about what she does. It's complicated, but she has the system down pat. Her children start at good job. Everybody starts at good job, and they can go up or down. The good thing about the levels is that teach practical. It teaches you that you can behave, and you can misbehave, and you can still behave again. It's not like you have to stay back. It's a choice. And that teaches you about life. Another good thing, and something that makes it more practical, is she gives them pom-poms when they get to awesome. The little bottles at the bottom have the kids' names on it, and they collect pom-poms. And when they collect pom-poms, they get treats, they get extra dessert, and things like that. She's not giving them anything special. They don't have to get a plane because they did good today. She's giving them what she would normally give them, dessert. It's a trick.
Really good.
It's a trick. She's giving them dessert. So, I mean, this goes to show that it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money to run a behavior plan at home. It doesn't have to be difficult. Now, in the beginning, it does take time to teach. Again, we have to teach everything we do. So it's a process for both the parents and the children. But once you get the system going, it runs really smooth. Behavior plans are awesome. Okay. Now, in order for a behavior management system to be successful, you should follow the following guidelines. The first thing that we all need to do with children is develop a relationship. You need to spend time with your children and develop some kind of bonding relationship with them. The next thing is just knowing your child. A lot of issues when working with children is that we think that they're doing this behavior on purpose. Or we think that they know better. They know better. I mean, they talk. They should know not to do this. Well, technically, You probably didn't teach them that. So they don't know better. They are children. They don't come with rules. They don't know. And so you need to know what they're capable of knowing and what they're not capable of knowing so that you can properly assess them and discipline them. A clear delineation of rules. Explain what you want them to do, what you don't want them to do, what it looks like, what it doesn't look like. Yes, it does take a lot to teach these things. But over time, they're at home with you all the time. You'll have plenty of time to teach them. Positive reinforcement, both tangible and intangible. We talked about the parent who gives dessert as a tangible reward. But even intangible gifts are very powerful. My brother loves when I tell him he's doing awesome. He looks at me like I told him that he's getting some money. He just wants to be noticed and told that he's doing a good job. At home, they need to hear it. They need to hear you say, Kelly, you're doing a great job sitting at your reading center. They need to hear you care about what they're doing, even when they're not doing anything important, even when they're just playing quietly. But that's important to you. You need your peace and quiet. So remember to provide tangible and intangible rewards. Providing consequences. Make the consequences realistic and make them match the nature of the infraction. The good thing about having a behavior management system is your consequences are created in the system. So you already know what they're going to be. And that helps because when your child is kicking and screaming and you yell at them today, and tomorrow they're kicking and screaming and you put them in the corner, you don't have to think about what's going to happen. The behavior plan tells you what's going to happen. It's always the same consequence for that behavior. So technically the behavior plan helps you just as much as it helps your children. It reminds you of what the rules are and what you're going to do when this behavior occurs. Repetition and consistency. You want to constantly repeat the directions, constantly repeat warnings, constantly tell them you're doing good or you're not doing so good. You want to try harder or you're going to lose your dessert. Consistency, very crucial. Maintaining a consistent schedule, trying to stay on task with everything. You have to be just as consistent as you want them to be. Parental accord. The parents that did that behavior system, both dad and mom know the system. They're both on track with the system and they both agree with the system. You need parental accord. If one parent isn't going to participate, the child's always going to run to that parent and they're going to play you guys apart against each other. And model behavior. Always be cool, calm, and collective, like a teacher. Okay, capitalizing on teaching moments. This is the easy one. Everywhere you go, your children should be learning and experiencing. It's your job to capitalize on those moments. Have give and take conversations at the grocery store, in the car, when you're cooking, bring them in the kitchen. Turn on the blender, explore how it works. Teach your children everywhere you are. When my brother was 3, we used to go to the grocery store, and we used to sing the alphabet. He didn't know he was learning what he was, and he was enjoying it, and I could shop, and he was singing, and every time he stopped, what letter were you on? Keep going. If you have older children in the car, talk to them. They talk. Let them talk to you. They talk to us all day. Let them learn who you are and how you are and why you are the way you are, so they can learn how to be them. Okay, last slide. Educational attitude. Most important slide of the night. Have a positive educational attitude. Demonstrate a positive educational attitude to your children. You are your child's learning model. If you like education, if you appreciate education, they'll appreciate education. When I see my brother, which I don't see him all the time, but when I do see him, first thing I ask him is, how was school? What did you do? When did you do it? Did you do well? Do you have some A's to show me? And he knows it. I'm always asking him about school. Granted, I'm a teacher, that's what I do, that's what I know. But you need to do it too. When you come here to pick them up from school, come in the classroom. Ask them to show you their desk. They like that stuff. This is what they're taught to value in school, and if you appreciate it at home, they'll appreciate it more. They'll be like, oh, mommy wants to see my desk. So we need to make school important to them. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
That was a lot to take